You can't solve your financial problems with the same kind of thinking that caused them. These words will change your reality because poverty can't survive. So to all my dough chasers, it's time to get this party started now.
I like it.
With your host, Jason White.
Yo, what's up, dough chasers? Oh, forgot my mic. What's up, dough chasers? This is your boy, Jason White, CEO and founder of Witness Reg. I'm messing up big time. CEO and founder of Witness Riches. Also, your host of Dough Chaser TV. I just got a weird call and it threw me off a little. So if my computer goes off, I want to apologize, okay? However, I'm going to give you all my full attention. Let me log off the internet. Okay, we're good. So today we are talking about some research, and I've noticed that a lot of people that I've come across and asked this question, do you budget your money? I would say maybe 90% of the people that I talk to don't. And I don't know if you ever noticed this particular number, but I believe it's 78, it's either 78 or 86% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, meaning that they're not having the ability to build a savings, to eliminate debt, and to transition to basically building a portfolio of assets outside of work. And I feel like that's a huge problem because, you know, one thing that we teach in our organization, especially when it comes to our credit repair service, the 700 Club, you know, your credit is only a reflection of how well you pay your bills, right? How well you manage your money. And if you're not doing a good job of managing your money, we can get you to the 700 Club, but can you keep yourself there? Will you remain in the 700 Club based off of your payment history? So what I want to talk about is budgeting, the importance of it, why you need it, and what I'm doing to help you all, okay? But while I get into that conversation, let me know who you are, where you're from, in the comment area, because I want to know who I'm talking to. Hello, Carol. How you doing? Let me know who you are, where you're from, and we're going to dive into this, okay? So, Jason, tell me, what is a budget? Okay, this is the scary word. You know, my mom told me not to curse in the house, and you saying the B word. Like, you need to chill out, Jay. Chill out, Jay. Okay, I can assure you it's not that B word. Budget. A budget is basically a documentation that gives you an idea of what you're doing with your finances to meet a particular goal, okay? And typically, the goal is to make a profit, right? The goal is to achieve something. And often, 90% of the people that I've talked to, they're not achieving anything because they're not making a plan. And those who fail to plan do what? Plan to fail. So generic, but it's so true. And at the end of the day, what I want to help you all do is look at my shirt. I want to help you transcend financially. And in order for you to do that, and in order for you to live a more comfortable life, you have to budget or you're going to die. Okay? And what I mean by die is you're not growing. Okay? And if you're not growing, you're doing the opposite, which is regressing in life, which is failing, which is dying. You're not living. So let me know who we are. We got Aya in Georgia. Carol's from Pennsylvania. My wife, you know, we're here in Ohio. Shout out to Toledo. We got Nicole. She's in Columbus, Ohio. Okay. We got Michael. What's up, Michael? Where are you from? I want to know where everybody's from. Let me know if you're in here. Let me know who you are. But we're talking about budgeting. And for those of you who are with me now, how many of you consistently make a budget each month? I can share with you that when my finances begin to turn upside down, meaning that I'm not getting the results that I want for my money, is due to the fact that I'm not doing a good job of budgeting. Sometimes you have to go back to the basics, and I often find myself when I'm not getting results from my money that I want. It's because my budgeting isn't in order like it should be. And once I go back to budgeting, everything begins to look better. And I can tell you over the last 6 to 12 months, prior to that, oh my goodness, it was chaotic. It was crazy because I got to a point where I began to get comfortable, right? And when it comes to running a business, you're going to get comfortable very quick because you're making a tremendous revenue stream. The thing is, with that tremendous revenue stream comes more expenses, and if you don't have a plan in order, it's going to get chaotic. And hit some success, um, got more revenue, got more expenses, really wasn't doing a good job of managing everything. And I'm like, why am I not seeing the progress that I should be seeing? And it's because my budgeting wasn't in order, okay? So we got Eric from North Carolina. Aya, thank you for signing up. I appreciate that. We're super excited for you. Did you complete the enrollment process? Michael's from Plano, Texas. Eric said, I suck at sticking to a budget. Carol, my bills are paid on time. I just have a hard time budgeting. Okay. So, to be honest, budgeting is not that hard. Come on, let's be honest with ourselves. Budgeting is not that hard. I feel like when people are doing it, they don't have the right goal for it, right? So when you're creating a budget and the goal that you have for the budget, right? So the budget is a documentation that basically helps you reach your goals through showing your income and your expenses, and basically you're budgeting that money to make that goal a reality. And I feel like your goal isn't strong enough. Your goal is not strong enough. My wife and I are on a new diet. And together, these last 10 days, well, yeah, today's the 10th day, we have lost collectively 20 pounds. That's because our goal is strong enough and we're following this plan. And I feel like the reason a lot of you aren't sticking to a budget is your goal is not strong enough for you. You don't have a strong why. And what we need to understand is, why do we want to be successful? Once you have a strong why, the plan should be easy. Sticking to it should be easy. And I feel like a lot of us fall off of that plan, of that budget, because our goal isn't strong enough. Okay. During the months that I was, going through my financial woes, I really didn't have a goal for myself. My goal was just to, get by, continue to coast, right? We always have to be trying to achieve something better for ourselves. And a lot of times, when you don't have that goal for yourself, you're not seeing that success. Think about it. When you're planning a vacation and you need some money to set aside, how well do you stick to that budget? You do a great job of sticking to that budget because you come up with that money somehow. So that's the kind of mentality that we have to have when we create our budget. And I have 4 particular questions or reasons in which everyone needs a budget. And what I'm doing myself personally is I'm creating a course, our financial course called Black Lettuce. I'm creating a course where I want to help you all learn how to create a budget that you're going to basically be able to reach your goals, create a budget that you can stick to, and one that's going to help you live a more comfortable life, okay? But those of you who are watching, please stick with me. Do not leave. Stay around, all right? And also, I want to remind you that each Friday, this poster right here, each Friday, I'm going to give away a free poster. Last week, Lonnie Williams won, and he should be receiving his poster this week. Lonnie, if you're watching, let the people know that you won, all right? So I said I budget, but I've slacked the last 3 months. You did complete your onboarding call, and letters were sent off yesterday. Good work, good work. Shalonda, you did not miss too much. We're just getting started. Stick with me to the end. I have 4 questions that I want to ask you. And if you can answer all these questions confidently, then you don't need a budget. But if you can't, We need to get our shit together, okay? So the first question is, do you know where you stand with your money? Do you know all of your expenses? If you know all of your expenses, give me a 1. If you don't know all of your expenses, give me a 2. Be honest with yourself. Be honest. Do you really know all of your expenses? Give me a 1 if you do know all of your expenses. Give me a 2 if you don't. So 1 for yes, 2 for no. Why is this important? What do you mean, why is it important? You may be paying bills that you should not be having. You may be paying bills that are taken away from your ability to save money or invest in yourself. I can tell you from the coaching clients that I have, when I have them look at their budgets and will first create the budget by listing out all of their expenses, they list expenses that they had no idea that they had, okay? And oftentimes a way for you to find out your expenses is to look at your bank account. How many of you look at your bank account? So I got a lot of ones. Trina said, that's all I know. She said, I know my expenses. Jersey said 1.5. Okay, Jersey, you're a 2. You can't be in between. Do you know all of your expenses? And a lot of times people will have, I was just at the barbershop, and my barber, he was talking about how he and his wife, they will basically buy things on iTunes, and the things on iTunes will have a recurring expense, meaning that it renews monthly, and they were totally unaware of it. They had like $50 of iTunes expenses. They both had, I think, a Google account that they can actually share and eliminate one account. They had a Comcast bill that they weren't using. They had all these expenses that they were totally unaware of. But when they actually looked at their when they did an inventory of where they stood, they found out that they were spending hundreds of dollars monthly on expenses that they didn't need and was totally unaware of, right? And I'm sure, some of you, you're not going to admit it, but you don't know where you truly stand. And in order for you to see the progress that you want with your money, you have to understand where you are currently. You have to do an inventory, okay? So my challenge to you is, for those of you who don't know where you stand, is if you're using your debit card, credit card, look at these statements and figure out what your bills are, okay? That's a great way to figure out where you're spending your money or what is coming out of your account automatically. Haha. Second question, do you know where you're going to be financially in 5 years? Financially in 5 years, meaning that you're planning 5 years from now. How many of you know this? Give me a 1 for yes or 2 for no. Do you know where you're going to be in 5 years? How far are you planning out your financial goals? The wealthier you are, the further out you plan. Poor people plan for tomorrow, next week, next month. Wealthy people, they plan out, what is my year going to look like? What is my next 5 years going to look like? 10 years, retirement. You see what I'm saying? How many of you know where you're going to be in 5 years? 1 for yes, 2 for I have no idea. That's important. Creating a budget for yourself allows you to plan out the 5 years. Yes, the budget is for month to month, but in order for that 5 years to actually happen, month to month, you have to be doing something to create that reality. You have to live accordingly to where you want to be. And oftentimes, which I said an important part, people don't know where they want to be in 5 years, and they're not planning appropriately to make that a reality. Think about that. Where do you want to be in 5 years? Do you know? Have you thought about that? Have you thought that far? Once you know where you want to be, you can begin to create the budget to make that a reality. Bars. Hey, I need some kind of DJ system where every time I drop a rhyme, I can press a button and it says bars. That'll be fun. I'm going to invest in that. All right. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, let me know so I can look into that. But I need something like a DJ machine, something, because I drop a lot of bars. And if you don't know what a bar is, it's basically, how can I explain this? You know when you rhyme, like, hey, I don't have time, but I'm about to drop this rhyme, bars. You know what I'm saying? So gotta click that. Anyway, having a good time. So we got a lot of tools. My man said your barber is ill though. I'm gonna let Tawan know. Tawan, if you're watching this, you're getting mad props. I appreciate that. Keeps me tight for sure. So yeah, we have to figure out where we want to be in 5 years, right? And once we understand where we want to be, then we have to create that plan to make it a reality. All right. I'm gonna put that on a t-shirt. I know where I want to be, but my credit has to change. Right. So that's something that you may have to invest in. Maybe you have to get an understanding of what to do. Maybe you have to invest in a credit repair service to make it a reality. Is that in your budget? You see what I'm saying? I want to invest in real estate. My goal is to, you know, own 5 properties. Okay, what is it going to take for you to get to that 5 properties? Well, for one, I need better credit. Okay, what are you doing to make that a reality? Have you invested in any education? Have you invested in any credit repair services? Have you invested in any secure credit cards, something to build your credit, right? Is that in your budget? Do you have the funds available to do that? Are you actively pursuing that, right? We need to think about this because if we're not making the change with our finances, then we're not going to make the change in reality. Let me see here. Trina Andrews said bars. Eric said fire. I appreciate that. Katrina Montgomery, a new client. Welcome, Katrina. Thank you for joining the Witness Riches family. I appreciate you. Kayachi, I'm sorry. She has medical collections, brought my score down. What do I do? Definitely challenge them with the credit bureaus and request debt validation. If you want a better understanding of what to do, if you're looking and getting a strategy, I highly recommend that you invest in Transcend Financial Academy. You can learn more about that at witnessriches.com, or you can look into our credit repair services. Either option, either you do it yourself or you invest in someone to help you. But yeah, you definitely want to attack that. Okay. The third question I want to ask you: how many of you pay all of your bills on time? Meaning that you don't pay late fees, meaning that you don't suffer overdraft fees. How many of you are in that category? 1 for I pay my bills on time, I don't have overdraft fees. 2 for sometimes, I'm not able to pay all my bills on time, I have the late fees, and sometimes I have overdraft fees. Give me a 2 for that, a 1 for basically I'm perfect, a 2 for I have flaws. What's up, Mark? How you doing? If you're just now joining me, what we're talking about is why you need a budget. If you don't have a budget, why you're going to die. And what I mean by that is because you're living paycheck to paycheck, you're not really having the true ability to live, right? And a budget, if you set it accordingly to your expectations and you live accordingly to the plan that you set forward for yourself, you will one day realize that expectation and live out your true purpose. Okay, Shalonda. Okay, what's the next step? I've been with you over 6 months. It's time for another step. Shalonda, have you had your 45-day re-up? Have you basically taken the initiative to speak to one of your client champions? A 45-day up is basically every 45 days we give you the ability to speak to someone who's working on your account. They give you the understanding of what you need to do next. Have you had that step yet? Let me know. If not, we can send you an email with how to set that up, and then they can give you more insight after looking at your credit profile to help you understand what you should be doing next. Michael said 2, Mark said 1, Jersey said 1, Eric said 3. That's hilarious. Katrina said 1. Mark said I'm fine, thanks. JD Oh, you're welcome. One, Trina, two at times. Kevin, you're doing a great job. Been following you a while now. Great information. Appreciate that, Kevin. Thank you. Shalonda, you have spoken to someone. Okay. Well, how about you give our office a call tomorrow, and we can, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you an email after this live broadcast, Shalonda, and then we can coordinate a phone call with either myself or your client champion to figure out what you should be doing right now. Okay. Um, but it all comes down to strategy when it comes to your credit, and we have to figure out, what your credit profile is looking like, and then figure out what you should be doing next. Okay, so we're gonna look at that and help you out. Look out for that email afterwards. Let me write your name down. So I got a lot of people who are in between. Um, Kayachi says she pays on time. Okay, so that's also I pay on time and I don't have any overdrafts, or I sometimes pay late bills and have overdrafts. So the reason this is important is having a budget for your money and following that budget, which it takes a specific plan. But once you have this plan in place, the extra money that you're spending on overdrafts, each overdraft with the bank that I work with, Citizens Bank, I believe it's like $35. Let's say it's $30. And let's say I have 4 overdrafts a month. That's costing me $120 a month that I could apply towards building an emergency fund, saving for a vacation, that I could use towards paying my bills on time for one, or eliminating debt. And oftentimes, what I find out is that a lot of people are minimizing their cash flow because their payments and their bills, or they may exceed the bills. Everything is chaotic, right? And they don't have a plan for their money, and they often end up paying more than what they should for simple expenses. However, if they have that plan in place and set everything up accordingly, they won't have this issue. It's just they fail to take the time and they don't have a strong enough goal to stick to it. So we want to change that dynamic. But in order for us to change that, we first must make the change. Which one is that one? That was a key alert. All right. I need to be accepted in the Facebook group. Typically, we get around to that by Fridays, but I will definitely look into that and accept you in the group. And then the last question that I have is, oh, I didn't write it down. Oh no, there it is. Are you living paycheck to paycheck? What's up, Ashley? How you doing? Question number 4. Are you living paycheck to paycheck? You know what? I got a lot of questions, actually. I have more than 4 questions, by the way. Are you living paycheck to paycheck? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Are you living paycheck to paycheck? Does it seem like sometimes it's more month than it is money? Paycheck to paycheck is that feeling where, man, I can't wait till I get paid because I'm stuck right now. 1 for yes, 2 for no. So I'm working on the course, right? And there's basically 4 components to living a more comfortable life. And one is adding more cash flow. Okay. Another, building an emergency fund, eliminating debt, and designing the plan that's going to help you live a more comfortable life, right? And cash flows is very important. And a lot of times, people who live paycheck to paycheck, they have too many expenses. And if you're someone who's watching this video and you don't know your expenses, or you know your expenses, however, you're not acting your wage, which is critical. Either you don't know your expenses or you're not acting your wage, and you have too many expenses. This will cause you to live that paycheck to paycheck because you have too many bills. We need to understand that I make $2,500 a month. That's what I make. These are the goals I have for myself. This is more important. Cable is important. This emergency fund is more important. Entertainment is important. Peace of mind is more important, right? So we have to make the appropriate sacrifice. And sometimes people will rather acquire all of these extra expenses just to look good to people that really don't care. And instead of you having the best cable package for your homeboys to come over and watch your cable, get that basic cable. Get one channel that you really need, or invest in an app for $5, $10 a month. Sacrifice that bill or reduce it as much as possible and free up that extra money. But sometimes, people allow their egos to get in the way. They get all these extra expenses just to look good. They don't use them, and it's taken away from their ability to invest in themselves. So if you're living paycheck to paycheck, I really need you to, look at your financial picture. Look at your expenses and compare it to your true income. Okay, this is what I make. These are my expenses. Are these going to get me the goals that I want? Is this $400 phone bill going to get me the goal that I want? I got 2 lines that I'm not using. I got 800 channels that I'm not watching. Do I really need all of this? Or am I oh, we had a blackout. Or am I trying to look good? I'd rather you feel good and be good than to look good, okay? Look like you got it all when really you're out here struggling, okay? We need to get it together. And sometimes it's due to the fact that we have too many expenses. Now, of course, that's not always the fact. Sometimes it has a lot to do with, maybe you're not making enough money. But I have an actual strategy that you can use to increase your income without actually working more. Yeah. I'm actually going to make that video. I was talking to you all about the tax allowance situation. I'm actually going to make that video, and that should be released by the end of the week. So look out for that on the page. If you are not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do so right now so you don't miss out on the critical information that we share to help you take your finances to another level. Transcend financially. All right, let me see here. Jersey, bump overdrafts. I hate even having to pay the ATM fee when I get cash. Right, ATM fees, that's a scam. I hate it. Eric, yes, and I'm working 2 jobs. Sometimes, that's the sacrifice that you have to make, man. Let me see here. Kevin Joyner, when trying to build business credit and personal guarantee business credit cards, will that be a hard pull on the personal side? 90% of the time when you're starting on working to build your business profile, they're going to want to get a personal guarantee first. And then the more experience you have, the higher tiers that you can move into. But it can get deep. But yeah, typically you want your personal credit to be in order when you're first starting off to build your business credit. Otherwise, you're going to have a hard time. Shalonda said, my problem is I get hit up with family and friends asking and borrowing every month, and they got stories for you, although they're not breaking me, but I'm starting not to like them. I feel you. I cannot relate to that fully. Okay. However, I was talking to my sister the other day. Well, no, today actually. And I'm selling her my couch. She lives about 100 miles away from me. And, they're coming to pick up the couch today. And, of course, I'm charging her, but, it's very affordable. And she cashed, I told her, if you're going to come, because I need it going tomorrow because I just ordered new furniture. I need it going tomorrow. If you don't come and pick up this furniture tomorrow and I'm not selling it to other people, you're low-key playing me. And we were joking about it because I want to invent a family tax. You heard it here live. We need to invent a family tax. This is a tax on people who are looking to borrow money and also promising to pay it back. Hey, you want to buy this furniture? This is the price. Because you're family, I'm going to tax you an additional $50 just in case you play me. We should do something about this. We should do something about this. A family tax. Your family, I love you. However, I have to tax your ass just in case you play me because I don't want our relationship to be ruined. So I need to at least get something out of this where, God forbid, something does happen, I'm not played, right? But it was just a joke. But for real, I think it's a good idea for a lot of us who get played by family members. Tax their ass. All right. Another question is, do you have an emergency fund? All right. And emergency funds are, a number where you feel comfortable. God forbid if something were to happen, you can depend on yourself to take care of it. My question to you is, how many of you have emergency funds? How many of you have funds set aside for this potential from happening? How many of you are prepared for that? One for me, two for what's an emergency fund? Jersey gave some good advice. He said, just say no. Sometimes, no is the best thing you can do for them. But yes, okay. So the question is, do you have an emergency fund? One for yes, two for what is an emergency fund? If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video. It really helps me out because the more engagement that I have with you all, the more it's going to be shown on actual in the YouTube algorithm, so we can get more people to join our community. However, if I don't get any engagement, if I don't get any new subscribers, new likes on the page, then my engagement level will be low, and my videos won't show up. So help me out, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I would definitely appreciate it. Thank you. One for yes, two for what's an emergency fund? Eric said, what's an emergency fund? Katrina said, what's an emergency fund? This is important. This is very important, right? Because God forbid if something were to happen to you, you're basically in a position where you're going to be in need of help. You're going to be the help, right? And nobody wants to be in that position, especially you, Eric. You work 2 jobs. You deserve to have an emergency fund, right? And Katrina, you do too. Everybody deserves to have some kind of fruit of their labor, right? And a big reason we failed to build our emergency fund is, one, we don't create the budget for it. 2, and probably lastly, it's not that important. So your why isn't connected to it. You don't have a strong why with the emergency fund. And it's very important, especially for you, your family, and your peace of mind. Why do I want you to go to sleep worrying about, God forbid if something were to happen, if the water heater went out, can I afford it? Right? Who wants to go to sleep stressing out about their finances? Budget or die. Aya said, yes, I have an emergency fund. Good for you, Aya. JD, what's up, JD? Where you from? Has an emergency fund. Jersey, Montana, a minor emergency. I feel you. So there are ways to build an emergency fund. Sacrifice some expenses, get them reduced, use that extra money for a few months to build that emergency fund. I actually have a video on the YouTube page that teaches how you can build a $100,000 emergency fund within 3 months, guaranteed. Guaranteed. If you have not seen that video, make sure after this live session, you look into the videos on this feed and watch it if you don't have an emergency fund. It's going to teach you and share with you some strategies that you can use to save $1,000 within 3 months, okay? $1,000 emergency fund minimum can take care of a lot of expenses. All right. Another question. Is your debt to income ratio or percentage under 40%? A lot of you want to buy homes. They're not going to sell you a house if they feel like you're over leveraged with your debt. Is your debt to income under 40%? Jason, how do you compute debt to income? Let's keep the math simple. Let's say that you are making $1,000 a month income. However, on your credit report, your monthly obligations, let's say that the monthly payments altogether equate to $500. $500 of debt divided by 1,000 will equal 0.5 or 50%. If your debt to income is above 40%, that's an issue. Jason, how do I fix this? You create a plan, you adjust your budget to add additional funds to eliminating debt. You also fix your credit, improve your interest rates, cut your payments in half. That helps too. How many of you know your debt to income ratio? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Do you know your debt to income ratio? 1 for yes, 2 for no. This is going to be very important if you're looking to make moves and it comes down to you borrowing money, okay? If they feel like you're over leveraged, meaning that you have a lot of debt payments, the likelihood of you getting approved is slim, okay? It's deeper than credit. What will help you is making that a goal of yours and creating your budget accordingly, and then just working that budget each month. And the next thing you know, 12 months of following the budget, you'll be there. Shalonda, it's nice to have credit, but I pay cash every chance I get, and a layaway is a budget plan to me. Yeah, so a layaway gives you the opportunity to fit it in your budget. Definitely, definitely. Instead of you living above your means and sacrificing your rent to go buy a new Xbox or a new flat screen TV, layaway is a great option for you to affordably put that into your budget. And instead of you acquiring it that day, you're patient, you pay on it monthly, and 12 months or 6 months of on-time payments, voila, you got it. I like that. That's discipline. JD said 1. Aya said excluding student loans. Yes, it is. Katrina, 2. So the thing is, Aya, when you're looking to buy a house, they're going to compute your student loans, right? So we got to find a way to get that payment down. Or maybe we have to find a way to get the other payments down. Or we may have to adjust your payment plan with the student loans to get that monthly payment down. So there's a lot of things that you can do, of course. But understanding that, especially if you're looking to buy a house, it's going to be critical. And you want to make sure that if you're on the journey of fixing your credit, that you're also fixing other areas of your life simultaneously. That way, when it's time for you to buy a house 12 months, 18 months from now, instead of you just focusing on the credit aspect, you're focusing on the other aspects, and you got it all completed so you can make that move. And a lot of times people don't really think about that. They fix their credit and then they go to a mortgage broker, and the mortgage broker says, hey man, your debt to income is 60%. We need you to lower that by 20% until we can help you. And then they got to wait another year or two to actually acquire the home. But if they would have understood the importance of the debt to income ratio, they probably would have worked on it sooner. Okay. Again, behind me, I have the Dough Chaser Manifesto poster. If you want to enter Friday's drawing, make sure you click the link that I'm going to provide in the comment area. Get on that list, absolutely free. Every Friday, I'm going to do a random drawing, and you will have the opportunity to win. And if you win, I will reach out to you personally via email to get your address and send it out as soon as possible, at least by the next business day. All right. So let me see. Those are all my questions. My question to you all is, do you have any questions for me? Hopefully this was helpful for you all. Hopefully you understand the importance of budgeting. It's very critical to your future, the success of your financial picture, and also your family peace of mind. And if you are someone who is not getting the results that you want from your money, from your income, a budget is critical, okay? And what I'm working on is a financial course that's going to help you create a budget, Create a plan for your finances that's easy to stick to. And as long as you follow that plan, you're going to get better results. And the 4 areas we're going to work on is improving your cash flow, building an emergency fund, either eliminating or reducing your debt payments, and getting you out of this paycheck to paycheck lifestyle. You're going to transition into more cash flow, an emergency fund, less debt, and a more comfortable life. And if that's something that you're interested in, let me know, okay? And I will give you a way for you to get on our first to know list. And as soon as that course is available, you can have access to it. Or you can always visit www.witnessriches.com to learn more about Transcend Financial Academy. And there I'm going to teach you how to transcend financially with your finances. We talk about fixing your credit. We talk about building your credit. We talk about fixing your finances and creating a plan for your money. Courses that I'm going to add in the new year, building business credit, buying your house, what to do, how to do that. And then also, what's the other one? Oh, we're going to have a Dough Chaser course on the mentality, okay? Those are courses that I'm going to add in the first 3 months of the new year. But Dough Chaser TV is all about helping you by providing you with critical information that's going to take your finances to another level. For those of you who are with me and have been with me, I thank you. I appreciate you. And continue to join me, to engage with me, so we can continue to grow our community and thrive, and transcend financially. Let me see what I got in here. Shalonda said, "Time to cook dinner. Gots to go." Peace out, Shalonda. Look out for that email so that we can coordinate another phone call or answer any specific questions that you may have. Aya, I'm on a payment plan for the student loan, but the overall balance is high. The payment. Okay, yeah. So debt to income, they don't look at the balance of your debt. They look at the monthly payment that you are obligated to paying. Okay, so that's good that it's affordable. Eric, I had applied for a card, was pre-approved, but denied. But soon after I got a pre-approval, from the same card, but at my ex's house. Okay, but soon after it got pre-approval from the same card. Okay, yeah. So what they do is they look at your credit report. And if you meet a certain criteria, their marketing departments will send out pre-approvals, okay? Pre-approval does not mean pre-qualified, right? So I just need you to understand that. And what you need to understand is, if it's not one of your goals to get, these cards that they're pre-approving you for, don't apply for it, because 9 times out of 10, there's a good chance that you may not get approved for it. And you're going to end up hurting your credit. We want to be strategic with the accounts that we open, and we want to open up accounts that we know we're going to get approved for. So building your credit is definitely critical to you getting approved for, those higher limit cards. But I would definitely recommend that you not fall victim to their marketing strategies, because they're just trying to make money off of you. And if it's not within your own personal goals, shut it down. Shut it down. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. Jersey, can I ask you something unrelated to the topic of the show? Send me an email. Okay. Jason@witnessriches.com. Send me an email, Jersey. Katrina, thank you for responding. I appreciate that. Kevin Joyner, do you have to be on a job for 2 years to qualify for a mortgage? And I mean 2 different jobs. What they like to see is 2 years of you making an income, okay? And if you can provide, I guess you can say, documentation, pay stubs. I don't think they're going to necessarily need 2 years of pay stubs, but they need you to be on some kind of job for a total of 2 years. So yes, it is important. However, there are a lot of programs that can work around that. That's one of the things that's not too critical, but they do need to see a consistent income, okay? So yeah, you need to find maybe a new mortgage broker. I don't know of any personally. If I run across any, Kevin, I would definitely be sure. Um, Send me an email, Jason@witnessriches.com, And if I'm able to find anything, I will respond to that and let you know. Okay. But I want to thank you all for joining me today. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and tell your friends and family about us. And in the meantime, enjoy this video from our sponsors. Ladies and gentlemen, we have increases. Check this out really quick. This client has been with us for just about a month. They signed up in late July, and we're looking at their update. It's now September. We have increases of 48 points with Experian, 58 points with TransUnion, and Equifax. Path to the 700 Club. As you can see, they've only been with us for a short amount of time. If you are interested in repairing your credit and getting on the right path to the 700 Club, we would love to serve you. Click learn more or end this live. Christina asks, how is it that your credit score can go down by 100 points just because it went over the limit? Not past due, over the limit. Is that legal? Unfortunately, it is legal. There's 5 components to your credit score. First is payment history, which is 35%, and the second is credit utilization, which is 30% of your credit score. Okay, this can make up 165 points of your credit score. Basically, the reason why they have such a big impact, why it has such a big impact on your credit score, is this shows how you are currently managing your debt, right? And by you having a credit card or collectively credit cards that are above the threshold credit utilization of 30%, it shows to them, not in reality, but to them, that you are dependent on debt, right? And that means that you're more of a risk to potential lenders. And credit bureau's job, the algorithm's job is to show lenders your credit risk, okay? And at the end of the day, the more or the higher your credit utilization, the more risky you seem. Basically, the more likely you are to default on whatever line of credit that you have. So that's important. And that's why we want to make sure that we give them a true view of how we manage our bills by making sure that our credit utilization is low, because the lower it is, the more it will help your credit score. So there's a couple things you can do. Of course, lower that credit utilization. And within 30 to 45 days, if you can get that under 30%, you'll get, a lot of those points back. And the lower you can get that credit utilization, the better it will help you. But typically when people lower their credit utilization right away, as soon as that credit card reports back to the credit bureau, they're able to get a lot of their points back, okay? But don't let it defeat you, all right? Just work hard at lowering your credit utilization and you'll be good, all right? Muriel, how you doing? You kind of missed us at the end, so watch this video again. But I want to thank you all for joining us. Again, my name is Jason White, your host of Dough Chaser TV and CEO of Witness Riches. If you are interested in learning more about any of our services, for example, our credit repair service, the 700 Club, make sure you click the link associated to this video. If you're interested in getting taught how to fix your credit using the same strategies that we use for our credit repair service, check out Transcend Financial Academy at witnessriches.com. But at the end of the day, I want to thank you all for joining me, and hopefully you learned something today. I'm out. Peace.